do.
Mm-hmm.
We need a place for those people because those people are called picky. Those people are
Mm-hmm.
called all kinds of things.
With too much standards.
Yeah, too
Exactly.
much standards. Those
What
people.
is too much standards? Like that doesn't
Because
make any
75%
sense.
of the world wants to settle for whatever they get.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess none of y'all into open relationships. I
Nope.
guess. No, I'm just, I'm just.
Open relationship, but think about it. Open
I'm not
relationship is about
into it,
being
but
up,
yeah.
but it's about being honest, right?
Right.
So as long as you give the person that you with choice, it doesn't matter what type of relationship you have. You know what I mean? Like it starts with being honest. It starts with giving somebody choice. So if you don't believe in monogamy, don't front like you believe in monogamy. Say you don't believe in monogamy. Do you believe in monogamy? Because if you don't, then we can be together. But if you do, I'm not the person for you. So I think that it's really about giving somebody choice and really being honest about what you want. I think a lot of people they're not honest about what they want. They want what they want when they want it, so they settle. They turn the blind eye to certain things, and then they get into these relationships that don't make any sense. And then before you know it, they got all this luggage because the relationship was bad and everything else that comes along with it. But if everyone really took out the time to think about what they want and actually stuck with it, things wouldn't be as complicated.
Definitely.
I also want to add to that real quick. I feel like it's also being honest with yourself.
Absolutely.
If you're not honest with yourself,
Mhm.
there's no way that you can be honest with someone else.
Absolutely.
So if you don't know what your standards are or what you're able
Mhm.
to tolerate, then you're always going to go ahead and scar yourself because you're
Mhm.
never going to be able to progress anywhere. So
Absolutely.
until you're fully honest with yourself and who you
Mhm.
want to be with and how you want your relationship to go, you're going to destroy everyone that comes your path.
Absolutely,
Definitely. But
because you
we,
can't tell somebody else what you want, or they can't give you what you want if you don't know yourself.
That's
I
right.
mean, and touching on what she said, we have been actually examining like the self help,
Category.
yeah, industry. Industry. You know what I mean? We have been looking at that because though, I mean, it's lucrative. It's making a
Mhm.
lot of money off people. But what she said, you do have to know yourself. But you
Mhm.
really won't know yourself until you're involved with somebody else.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? Like once you attach yourself to somebody else, that becomes who you are.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? Like every relationship you attach yourself to, that becomes a part of who you are.
Mhm.
So a lot of people say, oh, learn yourself, get yourself, gain yourself, do all this with self.
Mhm.
It's a lot of people are buying into it. We losing our communities. We losing everything slowly because everybody's worrying about themselves. Nobody's willing to surrender to the fact that they signed the contract to actually a verbal contract to actually be in people's lives.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So the self-help people don't say, listen, when you actually start working on yourself, you're gonna lose a bunch of friends that's gonna call you a love snob now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because now you worked on yourself. So they love the fact that you was easy going. They love the
Mhm.
fact that they can get over on you. They love think of
You
all
to
them people
advocate for
that
certain
wanted
things.
to be, that's
Yeah.
around you
Mhm.
because they know they can get past.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then now you start putting your foot down, I guess guarantee they're
You
gone.
lose everybody
Absolutely.
around.
They
Yep.
start. They start
Mhm.
to
But
move.
they don't tell them that.
Nope. They
No.
don't.
So now yourself, you're sitting by yourself looking at the wall.
But
See
that's
what I'm
because
saying?
everybody goes ahead and throws out the positive and never throws out the negative. You
Definitely.
understand? So they always try to sell it to you before actually letting you know, yeah, you're gonna go to yourself, you're gonna learn yourself, but guess what? You're losing everybody around you.
Definitely.
No one's ever gonna put that in the forefront, and that's just the honesty part of it. That's just being truthful. So
Definitely.
a lot of people are not gonna they're not gonna cross that line and tell somebody about themselves. They're not gonna be like, yo, you know what? Yeah, you gotta work on yourself. There's something wrong with you, but I'm not gonna be around for that. They're not gonna tell
Definitely.
you that. They're gonna be like, yeah,
Definitely.
work on
Yeah, because I
yourself.
like you being the
linger
train
you
wreck
along.
that you are. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
like I like you as a train wreck because I get to use you as much as I want to.
And
So let
everybody-
me go ahead and
Yeah.
use you as much as I want
And
to. then we
everybody's
slide it
just
in,
like what you just said, like people. And I'm like, ain't I a person?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Isn't she a person? It's because you have standards don't mean anything. And
Yeah.
it, really, they throw this judgment. I don't want to be judged. Have you ever heard an A student worrying about being judged?
Absolutely not.
It's
Nope.
all manipulative. It's all
Yeah.
being
Mhm.
manipulative. It's all a way to now go outside your comfort zone and now really focus on where they feel and how they feel
Mhm.
versus how you feel.
But
You're
it-
setting the standard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
and
set the
also
bar.
that I was just gonna add to that. Everybody want to see you doing good until you're doing better than them. So
Exactly.
that's what it really comes down to.
Mhm.
Once you feel like you're already a step ahead, and they feel like you're a step ahead, and they can't grasp you back, that's when they're like, now you're doing too much. Oh, you're doing this,
Definitely.
you're doing that. You
I mean
understand?
that, and now we're speaking broad because there are people, and that's what we're trying to have groups of people that are like-minded and
Mhm.
same-hearted. Meaning those people want to just see you
Succeed.
succeed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because I lose a lot of friends based on the fact that I do push them to succeed.
Mhm.
You being good to me is not good enough.
Absolutely.
You got to be good to you.
yourself. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And be good to me. There's no just being good to you, and there's no just being good to me. You have to be good to both people. And yeah, I'm gonna focus on you. When I join a relationship, it's all about me focusing on you because you have my back. I don't
Mhm.
have to worry about myself because you said you got me.
Mhm.
Yep.
Once I now have to worry about myself, changes everything.
Right.
Absolutely.
It
Now
does.
that's a discussion.
And a lot of times people start off with the premise of having a vision of being together, but then sometimes that vision gets lost. Like many times it's all about, I guess the glitz and the glamour, the family, the big house and all that. And people say what they want, but they don't really understand what they need. I
Definitely.
want
Oh,
the
yeah.
big house. I
Mhm.
want this. I want that. They don't understand what it takes to get it. But then as soon as one of the people in the relationship are so focused on what they set that goal to be, they don't understand it. And now there's a problem.
Well,
Definitely.
yeah, we were just talking about that, how being married is an accomplishment for most people. And it's really, is it really an accomplishment? I think that right now I'm single. Well, we're both single. But it's really about finding people that we're compatible with, like-minded people that we can grow with and build with. And if marriage happens to be something that we want later on down the road, then that's what we get. But I'm not totally focused on I'm single and I want to be married by a certain age. Like, I'm not trying to check off something off of my checklist. Like, it's beyond that. Because like you said, you can chase the big house, the car, the dog, and the kids. But if your foundation is not strong, none of that stuff matters.
No, it's
So
gonna
it doesn't
crumble.
really matter. So again, a lot of people in this society, they really equate being married with success. But is it really? If you don't have a healthy relationship, is it really successful?
Well, it's only in this generation right nowadays because, to be honest with you, who withhold marriage to a high standard nowadays besides them? So when they hear a couple being together like years and be like, yo, I've been married 20 years, they're like, what? How is that possible? Because in the generation nowadays, it's more like, thank you, ma'am, and, keep it pass it along. Like,
Mhm.
bang, bang, and you just going. So it's not
Mhm.
really any, like, substance within a relationship.
Mhm.
So when everybody settles, of course, it's never going to lead to marriage because you're settling.
Absolutely.
So if you settle within two, like, you're not going to get anything that you want.
Mhm.
And when you try to see that person for forever, it's not going to work and it's never
Mhm.
going to work. You're going to be forcing something that's just going to be basically traumatizing
Mhm.
because this generation nowadays, to be honest, like, kid is kind of having like a marriage instead of really being a marriage. Everybody look at it as a piece of paper nowadays.
Mhm.
So it's not really like, oh, I want to get married one day. It's like, nah, okay, I'm gonna get a big mama, but I don't know
But
about
the-
anything else.
But it's still like one of those things that it's, well, like, I don't know how old you are, but I'm 40, so
I'm 24.
I
My girl said married now these days.
Get married now, so that's a no-go.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I would say this, like, most of the girls that I work with or that are your age, because they are younger, they do look at marriage now as an accomplishment, and they're looking for that right guy because they want to settle down and have kids. I, me,
I think it's
wasn't.
cultural.
Well,
It is
yeah,
cultural.
it could be culture. Yeah,
It
you're
is
right.
cultural.
But I think that it's still one of those things that I still come across a lot of people that look at it as uh,
A goal.
a goal. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a goal. It's something that they want to achieve no
Yeah.
matter what.
Yeah.
So they'll settle for the BS, and they'll settle for the nonsense just so that they can get that ring and say, oh well, at least I went through the bullshit, but I'm married now. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? As opposed to just being single.
And then just dealing with it until you find that right one.
Exactly.
But I do have a question. I mean, now that I know you're 24, I'm just saying, like,
All right, you can use me.
I mean, the generation before said it about us. I thought we grew up in a crazier era.
No, it just seems like it keeps getting crazier. Because
Yeah.
I say that generation
I
under
think
me
this
is
is
getting
the-
crazier.
I mean, I've always been a person that loved honesty and loved transparency. So I think this is the most transparent we ever been.
I agree.
Well,
I believe
in a way.
I love
In
this
a way.
society because there was a lot of things
That
that
was
I
being
didn't
hidden.
know. That
Mhm.
now I know that I'm older. I had discussions with my parents, had
Mhm.
discussions with my grandparents. Now you're not getting past that all now. Now,
Mhm.
if you do something behind the scenes,
It's
all
getting
over
caught
the
up.
place.
Yeah, it's getting
Wait,
caught
You
up.
got to deal with
But
it.
It's
a
just
lot
now
quicker.
everything. I feel like now everything is just thrown in the forefront. That's what it is. Everyone
Definitely.
has accessibility to each other. Before it
Definitely.
used to be, I had to have your number to contact you or run into you in the street
And stay home.
and stay home and wait for that phone call. So don't let me stay at home and get that phone call, and it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
But nowadays it's kind of like, hey, seeing you, go send it to your girl, done deal.
Mhm.
So it's just accessibility. It's not really.
But it's
anything being-
transparency. You
Yeah,
still
it's
have to have the
transparency, of course.
discussion. You still have to deal with the fact that you got
But-
caught cheating. I'm
But
not
then
saying
see
people are mean.
nowadays, all right, you say that you get caught cheating, but nowadays, especially with this generation, I can say with my grade, like my little age frame, when they get caught, majority of the time, nothing ever happens.
No, okay.
Mhm.
It's on some, okay, you cheated on me, I'll probably cheat on you back, but where you going? You
Yeah.
ain't going nowhere. You understand?
But
That's
the
what it comes down
the 20 to 25 years, the 30 years that you just spoke about, the last
Mhm.
generation, That's what they was doing too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they were.
They the ones that
Yeah.
taught.
Yeah, basically.
It's just you don't.
Yeah, they was the ones. They was the one that. They
Yeah.
the ones that
Mhm.
taught relationships. They
Yeah.
taught our generation. They taught where our generation is teaching your generation.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's like, yo, as long as you got the ring, and as long as you have this, as
Mhm.
long as you have this, everything's all good. It's just like what he was saying. It's militant to ask for somebody to love you correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be.
No,
We
Well-
accountable love. We're saying, listen,
You gotta be accountable for all your stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
like at some point when you love,
Mhm.
at some point it has to mean something. It has to mean that you value being accountable in your relationship.
Mhm.
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying?
Being
We're not
accountable for
saying
your own
just walk
actions.
away.
Mhm.
I mean, there's all kinds of reasons people are going to stay. There's all kinds of reasons people are going to go. But we're saying have a discussion.
Mhm.
You know,
Absolutely.
and if you think about it, the generation, the older generation, regardless of what happened, they stood together.
Mhm.
But what they did, they slept in separate beds.
Definitely.
They didn't talk
You
to
got
each
money,
other.
yeah.
Right, like sent to the next room. It was like, yo, you going
Sleeping
to
on the
sleep in the
couch.
basement?
Yeah.
Like, there's all types of stuff that we didn't know about.
Mhm.
Now you see a lot more of it because now it's you take a picture, record it, and you're gonna find it somewhere.
Definitely.
So you know, and people just tend to talk about it more.
But
The
Definitely.
generation now really does.
it's more people involved in your relationship now than it used to be.
You're right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
right.
before
It's
it, that's everything is public now. So
Mhm.
now, all right.
What
Before back in
happened?
the days,
Community- well, the
yeah,
community
see-
raised the children, right?
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
now the community's in
But
your
see-
relationship. You got to step up.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. But
Transparency.
see, that's why I think that it was more successful back in the day than it is now. Because before you could have problems with your spouse without everyone knowing about it or being involved in it, besides the people that are actually involved in the issue. Now it's kind of like, all right, you may know, but now I got your cousin, your mother, your sister, your grandmother over there talking about it too. And now it's not only the pressure from your relationship itself. Now you're dealing with the pressure from the outside
But what
But
was
I
the
don't think there's
pressure?
but I don't think there's anything wrong
There
with
shouldn't
that.
be.
with like
actually.
judgment.
Well, but it's okay to be judged.
Mhm.
So yes, the cheater's not going to want to be judged.
Obviously,
because
yeah, of course.
he or she messed up. But the reality is, when you are dating me, you are dating me, my grandmother, my brother. You know what I mean? Like you're dating the whole family.
Uh-huh.
And there
So
should
if-
be some accountability.
Exactly. So you should be able to apologize to me and everyone else because we're all in this together. When I'm crying and I'm heartbroken and I'm trying to recover from whatever you did, I'm leaning on all those family members that you just named. So
Mhm.
yes, they should know what's going on. You shouldn't have done what you did
Yep.
if you didn't want everyone else to know what was going on.
Exactly.
So I think that it's not an issue with everyone knowing. It's just that I think when it's social media, you think about all these people that you don't know that
Yeah.
can care less about you guys.
Mhm.
See, your family members, they care about you and they also care about him. So they
Mhm.
want you guys to be happy. So it's a different investment.
environment.
When you think about people on social media, they're just like they weren't as perfect as I thought. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like so, it's a different. Exactly, you
Mhm.
become entertainment as opposed to they really caring about your well-being.
Yeah.
So I think that that's the difference. And unfortunately, with social media, the good and the good and
They're
the
gonna
bad.
better get for spilled. Yeah.
Exactly, they use you as entertainment
Mhm.
when you would want them to at least help or uplift the situation to add to it.
Or try to give you advice and try to give you
Exactly.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, love is definitely a responsibility. That's what we want to put, at the forefront. It is something when you sign up for it, really choose your words wisely.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not really willing to accept the responsibility, don't say I love you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Absolutely true.
That's what we're
Say I
saying.
like
Just
you.
don't say
Say
it.
I like you.
Don't say
I like you a
love
lot.
I care about
And
you.
like, we just had a discussion about, how some parents are irresponsible. Like
Mhm.
at
Yeah.
some point, if you're looking at you're looking at your parents and you're like, yo, y'all stayed together and y'all say y'all love each other and X, Y, and Z. When is those parents gonna say, listen, I don't know how we didn't show y'all love the way it was
Mhm.
supposed to be shown.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? We don't even know if we love each other.
Exactly.
We've been
Mhm.
together so long. We have bills. We have like
It
give
starts to
them the
become
rundown.
like comfortable,
Give
like
them
a
the
scenario.
rundown
It's
of what
uncomfortable.
life is like. That is life. So sometimes you can't just say, listen, I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
You have to like go through the responsibility
Mhm.
of saying I love you at one point
Mhm.
and then putting all this stuff together. And now you have bills together, you have
Mhm.
kids together, you have a dog together. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you don't want to get rid of that, right? So you're like, now you have to assume the responsibility of love, and that's why they do marriage, the
Yeah.
whole marriage thing. Because
Mhm.
I'm not a person that believes in law-abiding marriage. I think your word should be all.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, people do.
You shouldn't have your
marriage thing.
taxes tied in together to tell
No,
me that
sir.
I love you.
Yeah. So there's no escape.
Yeah.
You have to deal with the consequences
Yeah.
of your mistakes. And I understand that portion of marriage, allows you to face things head on
Yeah.
because you can't just walk away.
Yeah.
But I do believe that you should be able to walk away.
Mhm.
So that would be a whole different understanding.
Well, yeah, agreed. If you're not happy in your marriage, you should be able to be honest with yourself and the person that you with and say this is not working. Like you shouldn't just stay together for the sake of being together. Because, like you said, you're not really teaching your children what love really is.
Yeah.
And they grow up thinking that that's okay, and it's really not okay.
Mhm.
And then we're
It
dating them.
definitely
You know what I mean?
No,
Right.
no, we're dating the messed up ones that haven't been loved.
Exactly. Yeah, and now that's somebody else's problem. Like we have to raise our children to be, to add to society, not take away from it. And it starts at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we definitely got a new guest in the building. Our guest host. She's not new to this. It's Dr. Chrissy, right? She once she speaks, you'll understand why I call her Dr. Chrissy. It's like she's a philosopher to this whole relationship thing. And I thought she would definitely add to this discussion. That's why she's definitely here. So, Chrissy, talk to the people.
Hey everyone, Miss Crystal, Genuine Queen 360 on Instagram. I'm happy to be here again for all those that been tuning in. So we talking about accountable love, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you say I know a few a little bit, but honestly, I don't think I am one to speak much on accountable love because I'm too real and raw when it comes to loving and being with someone. I love my space. I love growing and being who I am. So that makes me not too good in the love department. I have a lot of trial and error there, but I do learn from my mistakes, and I have made plenty of mistakes, and I am quick to run away and walk away. So, and I just give up quickly on things. So I'm probably going to learn more from you guys here.
Oh, shoot.
You're like, damn, like
That's accountable right there. That's accountable right there. And that's all we asking. Just join the discussion. You know, join the discussion. Accountable love. You listen to it. You're like, yo, listen, I don't agree. I disagree. I agree. You join the discussion. It's all about being accountable. Listen, you love your space. You walk in your first date. You tell them I love my space.
Yeah.
Everything you just said.
But
And
I
if
didn't
they
learn
si-
that until after the era of hurting someone
Somebody-
that loved me like more than I loved him at the time, you know. And once I seen how much I hurt him, it hurt me to know that I felt like I had the audacity or even that I was allowed to do something like that to someone and their feelings and how they go about their world. So since then, it's been like, okay, maybe I need to take a step back, figure out why I did what I did, why am I like this, and just fall back from relationships and all of that. So,
Are you still in touch with them?
Yeah, we have a child together.
So, but you're still in touch with him. So why did you take a step back? Why didn't you just allow him to actually go through the process with you?
Because first I need to go through the process alone to figure out what is the problem with me. If there is even a problem before I pull him through the trenches, I can't, that's not fair to him. You know, like if there is someone else out there for him that he needs to be with, who am I to hold his whole life up saying, wait for me, let me figure me out, I'll be right back.
I'm not saying as a couple. I'm just saying in dialogue.
I mean, he's there.
Because you can't find, you saying you finding out what happened, like what happened with the relationship, you know, you have to figure out you.
Yeah, I'm 20.
People say this all the time. I got to figure out me.
Yeah.
Then
Well,
you
you
went,
gotta
then you
figure
meet
it out,
another
though.
guy,
But
and then you're in a
all
whole
in
different
there.
place.
It's like, you know,
no, because I actually had that experience. I've met a few guys that I was interested in, but then it was the same thing. It's like I'm just interested in the initial spunkiness of that new stuff. There's that new stuff is so attractive. Some people are just attracted to that, and I like that.
That's the honeymoon stage.
Yeah, and I'm
Of
not
course
gonna get
everybody's
caught up
attracted
in
to
that
that.
because then after you get to know the real them, it's like, ugh, I don't
Mm.
like the way you brush your teeth. Like, get away. I don't like like why are you so
It's
close
true.
to me? Don't hug me. I don't feel like hugging right. You know, like, and then those little things start to happen. And that's the real deal. You know what I mean?
So why don't
I
you go
get
on the,
caught
why
up.
don't you change?
and go the opposite
approach.
direction. Yeah, and just deal with the real deal ahead in the
From the beginning.
and then you'll weed out the bullshit.
The rain before the sunshine.
Yeah, because
I
people
know.
don't come to you with the real.
Well, no,
No,
but
no,
I
you,
do.
no, no,
dictate.
you pull
You
it.
dictate
pull it
how
out of
that
them.
happens.
That's what
I
you
try
do.
to.
No,
No,
but you do
trust
it.
me, you do it.
I'm single. I date. I meet guys, and
You
I
can call
don't.
bullshit off of them now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I can
think
see through people. I see it. I feel it. You know what I mean? But then if you're not going to show me the real, then I'm just going to walk away. Like I don't have the patience. So that's why I said I'm working on me, because I need to develop patience to deal with people. You know, I've just
You don't
like,
need
all
to
right,
develop
you don't
patience.
have to
You
develop
just need to
patience.
find a
If you
person that's gonna.
to be able to weed out their bullshit. That requires patience.
But why would you weed out
Not
their
necessarily.
You were doing the right
requires a
thing.
conversation.
Something looks crazy. Walk away.
But it requires
Exactly,
We're
like,
talking about
it was looking wicked.
the person
Step
that you
out.
said you had a child with, right?
Yeah.
One that you hurt. I'm talking about repairing that hurt. You're not gonna do it by yourself.
That's
That's a fact.
yeah.
You have to have the discussion with him. You have to walk through it with him. You
I
have
don't
to
even-
say
That's
what
a whole
happened.
nother topic. I don't even know if he is there. Like I really, really hurt his soul.
But he would be
You
the
gotta
perfect
humble
person.
yourself.
He
You
would be
gotta
the perfect person to talk to, because
And
at the end of the day, you could tell him. Yeah, you got to tell him, like,
That's-
you let
it
me know
starts
what
there.
it is.
Mhm.
What did I do? What could I change? How did we do it? If you're stuck with him for life, now it's a wrap. The conversation is gonna. I have 2 kids myself. That conversation is gonna be so different compared to you talking to somebody that has no ties to you.
That's a
That
fact.
person is gonna be completely blunt and honest with you, because you cannot go anywhere. There's no way. You guys can't separate from each other. The kid ain't going nowhere. So God forbid something happen to the kid. That's the only thing that's gonna happen. You don't got to be in a
You just
relationship, but
gotta
you still
have
got to have that
yeah.
dialogue. So either way, he would be the best person to go ahead and tell you, like, listen, this is what you need to change about yourself. Just personally, how I feel. This is why we didn't work, and this will give you at least an eye opener from a male's perspective on you. Because yeah, we could view ourselves in one light, but a male views is completely different.
That's when you get too comfortable.
Yep.
See, I 100% understand. With him, it's not. We are past that because I
Y'all
heard
not
him
past
too
that.
many
Y'all not
times.
past
But it's
Yes.
okay though. I think
He
it's
is so
worth
mean.
revisiting.
He's so different. Like he
No,
is
but
angry.
again,
you-
I
y'all not
can't even
past
say
that.
hi without it sounding like he wanna. His hi is like a fight. I'm like, damn,
That's
just say
because-
hi. Like,
But you gotta do
Yeah,
the
that's-
work.
Yeah, you
put
gotta
in
do the work. Yeah, you gotta
He
meet
feel
him
that way
more
towards
than
you.
halfway.
You're saying that
Hey,
you saying that you failed. Yeah, you failed accountable love. You did your dirt. You safety this heart up. Safety pinned this heart up. Now it's your job is unsafety. Unsafety pin. It's
but
your
my
job
approach to that
and
though.
actually be humble.
Because
Yeah.
he gonna treat every
But
girl
you-
the same.
yeah, but you can't blame him though either, because if the
I
shoe was
don't. I
if the
never
shoe
did,
if the
and I
shoe was
never
on the
will.
other foot, you would want somebody to have that patience with you.
Yeah, no, I don't blame
So-
you for anything. And my approach to it was, I figured that first I need to analyze myself and understand why I even did what I did, why we even got to that point to begin with, because he's always been good to me, never did anything to hurt me. He's always been a good man. So I needed to understand me more. And through the journey, it was 9 years, I realized that I have, they say every 7 years you grow,
Change,
you
yeah.
change to a
Mhm.
different person. I have changed and multiplied in so many ways, some good, some bad, mostly good, because I have grown to be more realistic with myself and being more liable to things that I do, things that I say, the way I approach the universe, the way what I put out there and how it comes back to me, and understanding that this came because you did this. Don't blame it on anyone else. You know, so I'm working on that. I'm working on myself spiritually, physically, emotionally, in every way. And I feel like for like a little bit, it needs to just be me in order to get that clear understanding before I go and entangle his heart in anything else. Because what if I do that and then the same problems occur? I
But
don't
you know
want to
what?
do
It
that
takes you
again.
being vulnerable. So what you just said is a starting point with him. Just say exactly what you just said, because you're not going to have all the answers. And yes, he is upset, and he probably wants to, like,
Angry.
well, whatever. Like, he can't stand you right now. But the reality is you messed up. So
Yeah.
it makes sense that he is in his feelings and he's feeling the way that he
Yeah,
feels.
totally.
But if you were maybe just this vulnerable, and he may still look at you like,
Yeah,
you're done, and walk away. But guess what? He's gonna
He
think
does.
of, but he's gonna think about it.
Mhm.
He's gonna keep thinking about it, and I'm sure one day he's gonna come around and say, "I'm ready to talk to you." So
You
I
good?
think that it starts. I think it starts with that. I think it starts with you being vulnerable and you saying just that, because, like Aziz said, in order for you to get what you need out of all of this, you're gonna need him to help you through it.
And then you punched him and punched him and punched him and punched him. He got
To the
off the
corner.
mat. Punched him and punched him and punched him. He got
And-
off the mat. And now when it's your time to get off the mat, you don't want to get off the mat.
Mhm.
Well,
So it
being-
just doesn't seem like you're being courageous at all. I'm gonna be real with you right now.
I mean,
You're not being
oh,
courageous. You're hiding in yourself. That's what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You're hiding within
Maybe I
yourself, and
am.
that's what everybody does. I always hear,
I
"Oh,
don't
I gotta
think
take
I'm
time
hiding
for
with-
myself."
within myself.
You was ready for love yesterday. You're ready for,
For
love
love now,
today.
yeah.
You know what it is? Like,
I was.
a lot of people think vulnerability is a
A weakness.
weakness,
Yeah.
and it's
No.
actually a strength.
It's a strength.
It's a strength. Like, Why? Because you're kind when you're
Mhm.
vulnerable and like you're actually
You're
giving your all.
transparent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
So it's like you get to see more if you really open up your eyes.
Definitely.
Like you get to see more. So
And it's bigger than kindness.
yeah,
Mhm.
You're being vulnerable. You're genuine.
Yep.
yeah.
That's
It's
what the
more real.
important thing is. Like we always talk about, you teach your kids to be kind.
Yeah.
I want my kid to be genuine.
Genuine. Yep.
Right.
Say what you mean what you say.
Yeah, I tell
Mhm.
my son.
You might hurt people's feelings, but at the end of the day, it was real.
That's
Yep.
the truth.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm
Yep.
not gonna be
Mhm.
kind for the sake of being kind.
Mhm.
True.
Or nice. for
That's
the
gonna
sake of
hurt
being
somebody's
nice.
feelings
Mhm.
long term.
Hey, just so I don't hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
Go ahead and
So
rest mine all out.
I have always been this. I've always been like shelled off because of past experiences in my life. So it's hard for me to be vulnerable, and it's even harder for me to be that emotional female that majority females are. Like, it's easier for me to just run. I'm like, all right, whatever. That's me. So, but I am working on it. I noticed that it is a problem.
But you didn't
because
really
I've
care about
lost-
hurting them then.
I mean, I do care.
But you're saying
Well,
you
then
care.
you then
But I didn't care till I actually seen the hurt.
Okay, but you don't care.
I do
You
care.
don't care.
If he didn't show you the
See,
hurt,
this
then
is
you wouldn't
the
have
wrong.
cared.
You don't care because you're
You
like,
thought
I've
that-
been,
yeah,
I've
you
been.
never
You're
seen
talking
it.
about your
I
hurt.
care, but
But you
I
didn't hurt
didn't. I
somebody else,
didn't
you
know
talking
what
about
I
your
was
hurt.
doing. I didn't understand. I wasn't tuned in like that to be paying attention to
Okay.
what I was doing.
But
I
now
was
Okay,
you
just-
are.
now
though.
you are.
But now
Now I
you
am.
are.
Hurt
Yeah.
people.
Yeah,
Hurt
and
people.
you're
So now you
still
can course
avoiding the
correct.
fact
Yep.
I'm
that because he's
avoiding
angry.
because I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like
Because he's angry. Don't you have the
I feel
right
like
to be
it's
angry at this?
fair. I feel like it's only fair
Of
for
course.
him. Like, let him be.
No,
free
it's
and
not.
do him.
'Cause
But we're not talking about.
We're
We're
not
not
saying
talking
for
about
you to
y'all
be
getting
with
back
him.
together.
We're just saying for you to correct what went wrong. So yes, you weren't a good girlfriend, right? But you weren't a good girlfriend. But you can be a good
In
person.
some
Friend.
areas, I wouldn't
A
say
good
like
friend
that. I
or
wasn't-
a
I
good
wasn't
friend.
a good
A good
mother.
friend, a good co-parent.
That's
a
a
good,
fact.
like you guys have
We do
something.
that. We do
But
that.
it goes big. But when he looks at you and can't stand you, and you co-parent, it does kind of bleed into each other. I'm not
Sometimes.
saying like because
I agree.
your kid can feel the tension.
Yeah.
I'm
Fact.
sure.
Yeah,
So-
you said it.
Yeah, exactly. So if you really truly believe that you hurt him and you really truly want to make things better, it starts with him. It starts by not running.
Mhm.
It starts by being courageous enough to be vulnerable, to put all your feelings out there, and let's see what he does with it.
Yeah, so stop being sorry to strangers and be
Mhm.
sorry to him.
Exactly.
Like that's the difference.
it's
We
not
don't
like
know you.
That is the truth.
We don't know you.
But just saying you
So we
Sure,
like
right
we're sucking
there.
it up. I'm across the thing like she's so sorry.
I know.
You know what I mean? And I'm over there sucking it up, and I'm like, maybe I can date her, right? You wondering because you like, oh, that's how it goes, right? So you gonna dupe me, but I'm sucking it all up. But I'm
I mean,
smart
I'm
to
not
see
sorry to
you didn't even say
strangers
sorry to
either.
him. How you gonna say sorry to me when it's time? You know what I mean? You're gonna tell another stranger, you know what? I really hurt him. He was really dedicated.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna be dedicated. Like I'm unafraid to be hurt. Like when I go in
That's a
hard,
fact.
and it's the opposite. I don't run. You see what I'm saying? I stand, fight, argue, and veins coming out, and we going back and forth. Very patient. Do what I need to do. Step up. Say something. When I say something, I do it, and people
That's a
run.
Oh, can I have a? I'm gonna ask you a question on that real fast.
And people run.
You know
so
why?
it's the opposite.
You know why? Because
See
they
what
not
I'm saying?
because they not used to it.
Of course.
Yeah.
People
But
already.
when is it enough for you? You like to fight. You sit there and you fight, right? But when is enough?
I mean, typically, I'm gonna be honest with you. Typically,
'Cause you're single now,
I'm
right?
that
Right?
strong. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
that strong. It naturally scares the person.
Yeah, it does.
You know what I'm
They
saying?
give up.
They give up
kinda
fast.
give up.
They give up before me.
I'm not saying.
Out.
See, when I say I'm dedicated, I'm not saying I'm a chump. So at the same time, when something's happening, I'm saying what needs to be said.
That's me.
I'm gonna step up. I'm gonna tell you everything straight out.
Put it on
Don't
the
ask
table.
me if you look fat in that dress.
Yeah.
Like I'm that dude that's gonna tell you look fat.
You look fat in that
Okay.
dress.
I'm not
Change
gonna.
that.
Yeah, I'm not
That's
the
so
dude that's gonna
fat.
sugarcoat. I'm one of them people that everybody's head go down. Like, why did you ask him that? Because I believe in honesty, but I don't believe in honesty to hurt people. I believe in honesty for the sake of honesty, like
That's a fact.
to start the discussion. Most people say you mean. I'm like, I'm not mean. I just want to have the dialogue.
I
They
hear
ask
that
me a
too.
question. I want to have the dialogue. I don't want them running out the room crying. I don't want to embarrass them. I
Well,
just
your
want to
intention
have
is never
my
that.
intention is, and people need to
It's the
start watching
attention and
the intention.
delivery is the difference.
Yeah.
Your intentions could be pure. It's just the delivery.
Well,
No,
Yeah,
see,
yeah,
delivery.
yeah.
You get caught in delivery.
Yeah, you get caught in delivery. You can't. You can't get caught in that. Yeah,
You get caught in delivery.
because you missed the whole point.
No, not true. That's not true
But
because
there's no nice way to tell somebody they're ugly.
That's a
no,
fact.
it's not.
No, there is.
But look,
I see you
what's the
ugly.
nice
but it
way?
doesn't
Is it
matter
difference?
if
Well,
people
you're
don't-
unattractive.
But look,
Well,
No, but not
they
only
still
that.
hate
And they
But not
still
only
hate.
that.
Yeah.
It's a difference between telling somebody in a group of people you're ugly, than
Mhm.
rather going ahead and taking the person and pulling them to the side and be like, you know what, you're not really like, or even telling them like, I don't think you're
It's still gonna have the same effect.
No, it's gonna have the same effect, but
Depends
it's a
on who you're
difference.
talking
But
to.
that's not
the
delivery. That's
embrace.
based on
That's
the
not the
appearance.
delivery
Yeah,
itself.
appearance.
No, that's not
You're
delivery.
taking their feelings into consideration.
No, but that's not
Delivery is
that's not delivery.
tone.
The delivery
That's
is tone. Is
definitely-
delivery is the approach on it. Is the depends on like the embarrassment, because I could go ahead in a group full of people and go ahead and call you out. You're gonna feel away because I did it in front of a group of people. You will come
Not
back to
me.
me and tell me, yo, I would rather you pull me to the side and talk to me about that before pulling it in front of people.
Now, well, it depends
So
on
it's
that
still
person.
your delivery, your
It depends
approach,
on
how
that
you come
person
at the
you talking to.
and how you say
I
it.
think it's intent. I think intent goes a long way. I think that if you tell me something in a room full of people, and I think that you're really trying to embarrass me, then I think that I
That's
would
the
react
difference.
differently. I think I may be embarrassed, but because I
Took
know
the
that
words
you're
out
not
of my
trying
mouth.
to embarrass me, I may curb my feelings and think, she would never want to
But
embarrass me.
how would you
so-
know? If the delivery
I know
comes off
you.
incorrect.
Because I
the
know
difference.
you.
But if
You
the
know
delivery comes
intent.
off
But I
incorrect.
know intent.
No, you
I
know
know
intent.
That's a fact.
You know intent.
I know if you're really my girl, you're not gonna wait until we're around a whole bunch of people to embarrass me. I know that it just had whatever your comment was had to be relevant for what was going on at that moment. So I know that you telling me that you're not the most, I don't know, you look fat in that dress. It's not because you're really trying to embarrass me. It's because we were talking about certain things and you're like, yeah, that's not a good look for you. But but now
But
if
you see how you change that up real quick though. You
What do
look
you mean?
fat in that dress compared to it doesn't look good on you. That's two completely different approaches because that's two different deliveries.
but you,
If
but
I tell
it
you
doesn't
look
good
fat in
on
your
you.
dress, you're like, damn.
But no,
for
but
real?
if you don't,
But if I tell you, yo, it's not really feeling, I'm not
I
really
don't
feeling how it
think-
looks.
But
It's not
that's
looking.
It's the
good.
same
Like,
thing.
okay.
but that's vague. I prefer you to tell me I look fat because at least I'll know what's wrong.
Because
You're
I'm
telling me
questioning
that,
your intention.
because you're telling me
You
that it doesn't
actually
look good.
thought
What does that
about
even mean?
a
The color,
nicer
the
way to
cut,
say
the,
it.
like-
Say it, yeah.
showing that you're
Yeah.
calculated.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not even you're calculated. So
Yeah.
now you control the whole relationship based on your feelings, based
Mhm.
on you should be compassionate. You know what compassion? It means sympathetic.
Yeah, and I would
Sympathetic
never
is
want
the
you
worst
to be
thing you can give
sympathetic.
somebody a less is to lift them when they're in a bad extreme situation.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
I'm not giving you that. I'm not giving you sympathy. Never.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Empathy is one thing.
Yeah.
Sympathy, never. So therefore, because I come off as the strong and invincible, because you know how many people say things to me all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
And comfortable.
Supposed to-
All the
it's
time.
supposed
in
to
front of
back-
other people.
Yeah,
It's supposed to
Like, he
yeah.
can take it.
The same for
He
me.
can take it,
Yeah,
but I'm always
shine
asking
with
the same way
Shine
you
with
do
it.
it. You see, the same way. Like if we was dating right now, the same way. You'd be like, it's your delivery.
Yeah.
Forget all the heart I put in.
That's a
Forget
fact.
everything I did. All you focused on was delivery. I built
Mhm.
you up so many times. I was there for everything. I made sure everything was on point. I made your bed.
Yeah.
You weren't about my
My
delivery.
delivery,
You
that's
wanted
a
to
fact.
destroy
Mhm.
everything.
That's the Kaepernick
And
right
now
now.
it's now you control
That's
the
the
whole
whole situation.
relationship when we supposed to be doing this together.
Yeah.
I don't care who's in the room. Everybody fades out to me when I'm talking to somebody I love.
That's a
Everybody.
fact.
Absolutely.
I don't care about anybody. You have to be battle tested. My loved ones have to be at this level.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're not,
Nobody else can cripple you.
we walk away.
So I'm gonna do all the crippling before the world cripples you.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna know how to walk before you walk out the door.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
a
So
lot of,
there's a big difference.
a
That's
lot
a
of-
big
a
difference.
lot of
honestly-
females don't understand that with a guy too, because it's like in a sense we don't break you on purpose, but like we give you that tough love. Why? Because outside in that real world,
It's about to get real.
Sometimes.
nah,
Sometimes
outside
it's
in
that
that
tough.
real,
Sometimes they
it's
just
sometimes
No,
it's
somebody, yeah, some
some
You got
some
to
some,
choose
some
your poison.
niggas is
Yeah.
assholes.
You
But I'm
haven't
saying-
even
Sat
viewed
with
somebody
friends.
if
If you-
like, oh, let me just tell her I'm trying to give her tough love.
Nah, I'm just saying. Me personally, I know myself. Like
Mhm.
if I'm in it, I'm in it. Like so, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was raised off of tough love, so I'm gonna give that in a sense, but I'm not gonna give it to you because that's what I know. I have to love you a different type of way. Why? Because what you're known to be loved for is way different than tough love. So that's me actually sitting back, learning you. Now, when I give you that tough love, it's for a reason. Why? Like I said, when you get in that real world and you not with your man, what's gonna happen when you at work? What's gonna happen when you go to the store? You're gonna let somebody walk over you.
Yeah, I ain't gonna let nobody else cripple you.
You feel
Well,
me?
yeah, you should leave the
And that
house
happens.
equipped, and you should really know. Like, you shouldn't allow somebody else to tell you what you should learn at home. That's the,
That's
the
a
bottom
fact.
line. So yeah, you, my girl, I should already know that you think I look fat in the dress, and you just reiterating it in a public setting. But we should already know where
What it is.
That's a
exactly.
And it
Because
could
we
have just
should
been a
already-
joke.
Yeah,
You know
a
what I
funny
mean? It's
joke.
like, oh, because we in front of a bunch of people now I'm taking this some other way. And I'm like, damn.
Exactly.
Alright.
But
So
a lot of
there's-
people do
there's
that.
a
That's why I said
question
it's a between those.
that I was supposed to ask, especially with you guys being here. And I know the question, so I don't even need to look it up.
Kind of assume.
But this question is, most people tend to want to be alone
Yeah.
instead of being with someone in a relationship. Would you consider that a sign of weakness?
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
Definitely.
What would you say, Chrissy?
Okay, so you said some people choose to be
Choose. It's a
alone.
choice, right?
No, I don't think that's a sign of weakness because part of being alone, choosing to
Wait,
be
what do
alone.
you mean by alone?
Yeah.
Alone, like,
Alone, no
like we
relationship,
work,
No relationship with nobody.
we work, yeah,
Alone.
in a relationship with no
That's
one.
like
that's
depressing.
cowardice.
That's sick.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah,
It's actually sick.
First of all, loneliness is a mindset. So if I choose to be single, I don't want you to tell me that I'm lonely. I just choose to be single.
But how long though?
No,
But
single.
However long we feel like
Nobody
it.
can be
Single,
alone.
two
No,
different
yeah,
things.
they said
They
nobody.
lonely.
Nobody.
no,
Like you're
Like-
really lonely.
No
like
friends,
cut
no
everybody
friends,
out
yeah.
to life.
Yeah.
You're alone.
Not single,
It
lonely.
depends, like on that is a weakness. Okay, if you're
It-
looking at
it
it like
is.
that, yes,
It's a
that's
disorder.
weird.
Yeah,
It is. It's
That
definitely
is
a
absolutely
disorder.
great
It
because
is.
you're born alone, you die alone. In order to add value to your life, you gotta have
And
a
we're
little
not
bit of
built-
something.
That's kind of
there.
We're not built to be
When
alone.
people don't think about it.